Hey, what's up? Bob DeBoo here for Open Studio. So I've had some questions in the past about beat placement. Today's video is going to be all about is our rhythmic feel, specifically in relation to quarter notes, and then later on in the video we'll get into some eighth note stuff too. But the whole concept of playing in the center of the beat, or ahead of the beat, or behind the beat, and various situations in which you might want to do that. In general, I like to think about playing right down the center of the beat as a good starting place, so that anybody I'm playing with, drummers specifically, know exactly where I'm feeling the beat, and then from there we can kind of flex around it. But we have to establish that initial placement first, I think. But we're going to get into some specific exercises today for how to play right down the center of the beat, how to start thinking about getting ahead of the beat a little bit, and then behind it. Now, why would you want to play ahead of the beat at all? If you listen to somebody like Ray Brown pushing, like when we start walking, you hear him being on top of the beat, just a smidge ahead of where maybe the drummer's ride cymbal might be. That gives us this elevated type of excitement, energy. And the tempo can maybe altogether speed up a little bit, but it's got this different kind of energy where Ray is like playing on top of the beat. If you think about playing behind the beat, that doesn't really happen intentionally, at least, too often when we're walking or playing, in a swing groove. But if you get into more modern styles like hip hop, like anything else, like where we might want to lay back a little bit more, that can really come in handy. So we're going to talk about some ideas on how to do that too. Even though it's all on upright, anything we're doing today can be practiced on any instrument. Obviously, because we're talking about rhythm. We're going to do some simple bass lines, just a really repetitive bass line and single note type of ideas. So it's something that everybody can do. So join me. We're going to get into some practicing. Let's get started. So I'm going to start up my metronome now at 70 beats per minute. And here's what I want to do. I want to play a B flat right down the center of this beat. So you hear that clicking? I want to line right up with that in a B flat. Here we go. So my attack, I'm trying to get it to line right up with that click. Now, some good tactics for being able to do this is to think subdivisions. Triplet, 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 triplet. Or sixteenths. You hear how sometimes I'm ahead, but for the most part I'm trying to be right there. And that's generally what we want to practice as far as being right on the beat. So, and finding those subdivisions can help you to fill out that quarter note or whatever your division is that you're working on, but to help you hear what's happening in the middle of those beats. Okay? So now let's try something. I want to bring back my metronome. I'm going to keep playing just B flats. I'm going to try to play two measures right on top of the beat, like dead in the center of the beat, and then I'm going to try to push ahead just a little bit. Okay? So just playing a B flat. Right down the center is my goal. Now I'm going to try to be just ahead of it. And back to the middle. Now just ahead. Here we go. Right now. Right? So you can hear that little flam that's happening, specifically when we're playing with a metronome, because you can hear that really distinct attack of the click or whatever it is you're using. It feels a little bit different when you're playing with a drummer, obviously. Okay? But try this now. Play two measures, just playing B flat, right down the center. So 2, 3, go. 2, 2. Now get ahead just a little bit. 1 for 2 bars. Right in front of it, and then bring it back to the center. Center. Now push ahead just a little bit. You should feel a little bit uncomfortable. Let me try it. So I'm trying to get my snap right there, the click. Now ahead of it. Right back down to the middle. Okay, so the uncomfortable feeling that you're getting if you're doing that, that's okay. We wanna embrace that, and then also notice what it feels like to come back to the center of the beat. I think practicing like this, and we'll do the same with playing behind the beat, of course, too, can really help for us to hear the center of the beat in a much different way too. Let's talk about a few concrete ways to practice this. Okay, so let's start by thinking triplets, eighth note triplets specifically. So if here's our quarter note, triplet, 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 triplet. Now I want you to play that B flat on the last triplet to anticipate the downbeats like this. Triplet, 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 triplet. Try it. Now this is obviously too far ahead of the beat to be functioning like thinking about it being like just like, you know, giving that push, but it's very important to be able to feel that subdivision too. So playing on that third triplet can help with your time and help you to feel back where that quarter note really is landing. Let's try moving that into sixteenths. Try it. Okay, cool. So still way too far ahead of the beat, but if we can start dialing back where we're putting this, we'll have a better control over it. Let's push that even further. Let's think about 16th note triplets now, okay? So I want to break this down really quick first. So if we're thinking about triplet, 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 that's a lot, right? You can think about this. I like to tap the triplet. And that where I'm tapping right here is that last little division of the 16th note triplet. That's where I want to put my quarter note or my imagined quarter note now. Kind of there, right? So there I'm clearly still ahead and it's still flamming, but I'm controlling it. Okay, try this. Now let's not think about the, you know, like the really specific mathematical division at all. Let's just think about flamming and being right ahead of it again, like what we were doing earlier. So there, I'm on top of it, but it's not flamming as much. So I've got a little bit more control with where I feel that 70. Right? And you can move that into walking bass lines, of course, and get that same kind of vibe and be on top of the beat, that buoyancy, the type of feeling. But make sure it doesn't take off from there or get too much faster. All right, let's flip around really quick and work on playing behind the beat. Okay, so let's do what we did earlier with playing ahead. We'll play right down the center. Now behind. Now down the center. And now behind. Feels kind of lazy when it goes behind like that, right? Again, this is not something that would be great to do for like a walking bass line or for playing in a jazz field because it's just going to feel like you're dragging everything down. But in certain situations, this can be really, really utilized well. All right, let's do the same thing, just systematically what we were practicing with playing ahead. Let's do the same thing with behind. So we'll start off with triplets. So I want you to play the second triplet, second eighth note triplet of each beat. Just keep on that same B flat. Cool. Okay. Now same thing. Let's get a little closer to that downbeat. Just going the other way and think about sixteenths. So now the second 16th. You got it? Cool. Now, 16th note triplets. That one is tricky, right? So you can practice going back and forth between them. I'm going to play down, and then 16th note triplets. Down, or center, behind. Cool. Okay, so now let's think about just flamming it a little bit. Don't think divisions of any type. Just try to get right a little bit behind where that quarter note is. So here's the quarter note. I'm trying to be in the center. And I just pull it back a hair. But still trying to keep when you're attacking even. Let's try to move this into a really simplistic bass line that we can work on. So changing up notes in the left hand or changing up your pitches can add in a little bit more to the mix and maybe throw us off. So we want to make sure that we're shedding that too. So here's what I want to do. We're just going to do a bass line like this, really simple. In B flat. We're going from the 1. It's basically all on B flat. So B flat D, E flat E, F, G, A flat, A natural, and B flat. Okay? So here's our quarter note. So here's what I want to do, is to play that bass line. The first time through, play it right down the center. Second time through, try to push it a little bit. Okay? And then back to center, back to pushing. And I'll call it out as we go. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, center. Now push. Center. And that uneasy feeling of it being on top, that's okay. Remember? Push. Center. I'm going to do it one more time and then I'll let you do it. So now I'm going to push. You got it. Try it. Center. Now push. Try to keep it consistent. Where are you putting it ahead? Now back to center. Here we go. Center. Long notes, connect them, push. Clear attacks, long sustained notes. That was what we're looking for in our walking lines. Great. Okay, so let's do the same thing now where we push it behind. And again, doing this type of push and pull practice is going to help us just to understand where we fit inside of the circle of this time, of this beat. Same bass line. Center. Now push it behind. Center. Now put it way behind, see what it feels like. Center. Now just flam behind, a little bit behind. Let's try something different now. This feels different if you do it at faster tempos, right? Okay, so now let's call this is still 70 clicking, but we're thinking about it as 2 and 4, as beats 2 and 4. Okay, so we're at 140. So I want to try the same thing where we're playing the same bass line. We're going to play on the center and then ahead and see what that feels like with just less metronome and with a faster tempo. Say 1, 2, center, 2, 3, go. Actually, let's do 2 times through the center. And now push. Here we go. Push. Center. See, it feels different, right? Center, now push. Center. Center. Now push. Here we go. Okay, so it's important to note too that I'm pushing the beat, but the whole overall tempo is not pushing forward. We've not gotten any faster than 140. It's just making it feel like that. The idea is not to rush. Let's flip this around and lay back every other time, okay? So here's the center, same bass line. Center again. And then this next time, let's play behind. Find the center again. Center. Now behind. Center. Center. Behind. And you can do this, of course, to varying degrees and play around with it. And that's just with a metronome too. Obviously, you can think about stuff like this with less metronome going on, with drum loops. Play this with a drummer if you have a chance to, of course. That's the best way to deal with stuff like this too. Okay, let's take this to the next level, which is thinking about eighth notes. Okay, just how we were thinking about having our quarter notes be pushed and pulled in certain directions. You can think about your upbeats, like your eighth notes, being pushed and pulled in different directions too. Key component here is that we want to keep our downbeats centered for right now. You could move all of this around a little bit. Maybe we'll do a little bit of that, but we're really thinking about our upbeats shifting around just a little bit more to get a different kind of swing. So here's what I mean. So if I'm calling this quarter notes, here's eighth notes, right? This should sound similar because this is the same like division we were just doing with our walking. If I moved all of these eighth notes ahead a little bit, it'd be kind of like what we were doing earlier. But now I want to think about just these eighth notes this way, straight. Make sure those are locked in. And now push that upbeat back a little bit. So let's try it now. Let's find the triplet. So triplet, triplet, triple. This is a lot of times how people will think of eighth notes when we're swinging, is the triplet. Triplet, triplet, triplet. So play this with me. And back to straight eighths. Now let's see if we can find something in the middle between those two. Straight. Here, go. Straight. Now triplets. Now in the middle. Here, go. Triplet. It's a really subtle thing, but the more you play around with that, you can get a different kind of lope with your eighth notes, okay? Let's see what it sounds like maybe like this. That same bass line, but straight eighths. And you could, of course, do all of this get that different eighth note. It's not triplets, it's not swing, or it's not straight eighths. Here's the triplet, right? Feels different. Here's the straight eighths. And here's something in the middle, maybe? Okay, the final thing I want to hit is going between 16ths and 16th note triplets. 16ths. There it is. I wasn't feeling it first. But now what if it's 16th note triplets? Triplet, 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 triplet. That's going to have a different vibe to it if you're playing like in a walking line like this, or maybe even a two feel. But knowing the difference in those divisions and really shedding them and having control over them while still keeping your quarter note rock solid, that's where it's at, I think. And so that's hopefully some good ways to practice where your beat placement is, thinking about quarter notes, and also thinking about some eighth note and some 16th ideas. You can, of course, swing your eighth notes thinking about triplets, but there's also kind of like the in the crack area, the in-between straight eighths and eighth note triplets. Same with 16ths. So we've got our 16ths, right? Da 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 ba ba, or da 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 da, and there's an in-between there too. So hopefully you found this useful. If you're into this, please check out the Bass Access Pass. We practice stuff just like this all the time. And on top of that, you get access to great courses by Christian McBride, Ruben Rogers, by myself, Peter Martin Trio. It's excellent. So check that out in the link below. And you can click the link below as well for a free PDF of everything that we've done today. So hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments if you have any questions, comments, obviously, suggestions, jokes, criticisms. No, I'm just kidding. Anything at all, please let me know, all right? So happy practicing. Take care. See you next time. Peace.